Welcome to the MVP Show. Today's show is brought to you by the 90-Day Mentoring Challenge. It's amazing what can change in 90 days, how you can get a new perspective and really understand where your career could go. This is a free challenge that I've been doing for some time now, many years. It'll be my 5th year of running the program. If you want to take a fresh look at your career and where you're going, and are you on the right career path inside of Microsoft Business Applications, check out nz365guy.com/mentoring and see if this is a good fit for you. With that, let's get on with the show. Today's guest is from Munster, Germany. He works at GWS since 2009, currently as a technical solution architect and developer. He started with NAV in 2009, then trained on 2009 and AX 2012, and around the 2011 timeframe became a solution architect in 2015 and started blogging in 2018. He was awarded the Fast Track Recognized Solution Architect for 2020 and 2021. You can find him online. You can find him on Twitter at braul, B-R-A-U-L, or at his blog, msdynefo.wordpress.com. Welcome to the show, Paul Heisterkamp.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for having me here. I'm very pleased that I'm able to join your show with such a lot of episodes you made already.
It's fantastic. Now, did I pronounce your last name correctly? How do you say your last name?
It is Heisterkamp.
Heisterkamp. Very good. And where did your Twitter handle come from? Because it doesn't seem to be related to your name.
Yeah, it is quite an old handle. So I created it years ago where my nickname was Braul. And then it got hacked by some Russian hackers. And years after that, I got it and delete all those hacker stuff. And now I'm using this one since some years.
Wow. How did they hack into it? Do you know?
I don't know. Well, maybe because of a bad password or something like that. But I created it and then didn't use it for some years, and then come back and saw, oh, what is all those Russian hacker stuff here? And then
wow,
re-hijacked it.
I love it. Well, I always love finding out from the guests on the show a bit about what you do for food, family, and fun.
Yeah. So I'm doing for my family every thing I can do. I have 2 small kids, 2 daughters, 4.5 and 1 year old. And sporting is a bit short with this family, so I'm only at running. Previously, I did triathlon, so swim, run, bike. But biking is too time consuming, and swimming is a bit problematic in the age of Corona. So I'm only running, and in the rest of my free time, I'm looking at my 2 little girls.
Nice. How many triathlons did you do?
I think I did 5 or 6, but only we call it Volksdistanz. So this is the smallest one. It is smaller than the Olympic distance. It's only, I think, 500 meter swimming, then I think 20 or 40 biking, and then 5 running. But in combination, it is long.
That's a lot of commitment. I don't know how you put your body through that.
Yeah, it is not that much training. I was not that fast, but of course you have to do some training because otherwise you will be completely destroyed afterwards.
Mm-hmm. So tell me, how did your career start in technology?
Yeah, my career started with technology, with computer gaming. I think my first computer game was Command and Conquer Tiberian Sun or something like that.
I love that game.
Yeah. And then, of course, I did some gaming there. And after school, the decision was to go for an education program to learn programming. And this took 3 years as at a company called Brillux. They are manufacturer of painting colors. And yeah, after this one, at 2009, I switched to the GWS, and with this switch, I entered the Dynamics business with NAV, or now called Business Central. And then I was in the position to start the F&O, or at that time it was called AX, the AX practice, and grow this business unit to, I think, currently up to 60 people.
Wow. So tell me a bit about AX. Well, AX 2012 was the kind of transition product, right, where it went to Dynamics 365, and cloud became Microsoft's focus for this application. Are you seeing with your customers that more and more of your customers are now moving their ERP systems into the cloud, or are you still seeing a lot of on-premise?
Yeah, we are doing cloud-only projects. So with the switch from AX 2012 to D365, it was a complete reimagination of all our ISV products, because they were bound to on-premise processes, let's say, and we are always in heavy integration projects. And so we had to rethink almost all our modules and made them cloud ready. And currently, or since the beginning of F&O, we do cloud only projects. So I think there is a substream that you can install F&O on premise, but we are not doing such projects.
Interesting. And are you doing anything in the area of commerce?
Not really. It came up at some of our projects, but then we always decided to go with processes inside the core F&O product, and I haven't had to install the commerce scale unit and all the POS stuff and so on. So we are completely focused on F&O, normal client processes. But with the current invention for Microsoft of new microservices popping up everywhere, we are more and more focused or transitioning to also use the Power Platform and Dataverse.
A couple of things that spring to mind for me. One is, at GWS, are you more focused on ISV solutions or more full customer integration? Oh, sorry, implementations.
Both. We have started our business unit by growing an ISV solution, I think, for 2 or 3 years, and then jumped into implementation projects. And now we have a stack of a lot of ISV solution that we can, let's say, kind of plug and play into our projects. And with implementation projects, we are enhancing those ISV solution for the common use cases, let's say. But our focus is in the F&O business, consulting driven and implementation project driven. So we have project teams, let's say, of 2 to 15 people for one project, and they are focusing on this single project, and once it's done, they are growing and starting new implementation projects.
Right, right. And then the other thing you mentioned there was the use of Dataverse in regards to a Dynamics 365 finance project. Are you seeing the Dataverse being used a lot more, as in more tightly coupled with the implementation of Dynamics 365 finance?
Yeah, we have more and more use cases where we integrate with Dataverse or building up Power Apps that integrate with F&O. And for example, there is a microservice called Inventory Visibility. I recently did a session for this one for DynamicsCon. And this one is built up from Microsoft. It is a microservice that uses Dataverse as the data source, and F&O synchronizes over inventory on-hand data, so that you scale out requests for inventory on-hand data to the Dataverse, so that you get a little bit less pressure on your ERP database. And this is the focus Microsoft is currently taken to scale out to Dataverse.
Right. And so is the use case for using the Dataverse in this scenario, you mentioned it relieves some of the load on the back end of Dynamics 365 Finance. But what about, are you the reason you're moving the data, is it mainly to build apps then against that data?
Yeah. Yeah, we have the use cases that, for example, we have virtual entities and normal entities in Dataverse, and building up apps on top of it, because you can design better handheld processes with Power Apps based on Dataverse than with F&O.
Nice, nice. So tell me a bit about your journey to becoming an MVP.
Yeah, I started blogging in 2018, and it was always on my mind to start blogging, but it was always kind of a barrier that I didn't had a blog. And a colleague of mine asked me why I don't use simply WordPress.com as an hosting system and put in my content there. And this was the starting point of my blog. And then I also got speaker engagement to present my knowledge to the community. And then, once at one day in 2020, I got this lovely email from the MVP administrator that I got recognized there.
When I look at your blog, you've been consistent since November 2018, December, January, February, every month, right the way through 2019 into 2020, 2021. Fantastic. How do you come up with ideas about what to blog on?
Yeah, these are ideas from daily business at GWS. If I find something interesting also for the community, I make a note at my OneNote, and then later on, if I find time to research something and write about something, then I go to my shortlist or to-do list for blogging and select one topic and then create the content. Yeah.
Do you set a specific time each week to do it? I'm unpacking this a bit because there will be people listening going, how do you do it consistently? Like one comment I commonly get is, how do you come up with ideas? And you've solved that. Now, how do you make sure that you consistently write a post?
Yep, I currently have a very long list for topics because I'm currently kind of pausing the blog because I had 1.5 months for parental leave, and there I just stopped that one. But normally, when I sit down at the evening at our couch, then I take my laptop and research something, play with something, and then just um, writing down this stuff in OneNote first. So because it is easier to write, and afterwards, so one blog post can take one evening up to several evenings, of course, or several nights, and then the real illustration in WordPress I do afterwards, and then formatting, making it a nice post to read, searching for a banner and so on. So this is my production process, let's say.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Once you received an MVP, did anything change for you? Did it have any impact on you, your career, or anything else?
I think I was even more motivated to create nice blog posts, to do speaker engagements, and so on. But I think a lot of people didn't know what's behind the MVP. So MVP is a nice word, and the logo is nice, but a lot of people do not know for which kind of activity Microsoft recognize you with this award. But yeah, for me, it's extremely nice to get this award, and I'm even more motivated to create nice content for the community.
I like it. What recommendations do you have for people that want to become MVPs? What's your recommendation to them?
Yeah, my recommendation is that it should not be your plan to become an MVP. It is more that you want to share your knowledge with the community, and also that those blogging activities, those sharing activities trains you in presenting or communicating content. And this is also extremely helpful in daily business if you're doing trainings for end users or something like that. That definitely helps there.
Totally agree. Before I always like to wrap up with some quick fire questions, but before we go there, what excites you most about the future of Dynamics 365 Finance?
Yeah, the content, the steadily change. So every year there is new stuff coming into the product. There are things changing, and they change things you didn't even thought about it. So there's a steady change, and that is the exciting part of the research and development for F&O.
I like it. I like it. Okay, here's your quick fire questions. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, if you could only have 5 apps on your mobile phone, what would they be?
Yeah, WhatsApp, um, Eurosports. I think Strava. This is the social network for sports. My email and Teams.
Nice, nice. If you could visit any place in the world, where would it be and why?
It would be, I think, Thailand because we were there before we had kids, I think 10 years ago, and I would want to see how it is or how it had changed till 10 years ago.
I like it. I like it. Last question. If you could write a book, what would it be about?
I don't think that I ever write a book.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That's so good. Well, thank you, Paul, for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mark. It was my pleasure.
Hey, thanks for listening. I'm your host, Business Applications MVP, Mark Smith, otherwise known as the NZ365 guy. If you like the show and you want to be a supporter of the show, please go to buymeacoffee.com/NZ365 guy. And as always, stay safe out there and see you next time.